right, everybody, now that we're done with all the logs and the exponents, our next topic that we're going to work on is trigonometry. So we're going to do trig probably for the whole month of May. I'm actually going to pop my camera up a little bit here, give myself a little more room. But before we can start trig, we've got to work on what we call angles and angle placement. So that's what we're going to take notes on today and practice. Angle placement. And once we get this down, then we can actually venture into the world of trigonometry. So, here we go. What we're going to start off with is I'm going to put sketch the angle. All right, so we'll start with number 1. And I'm going to say, let's sketch 60 degrees. So anytime I say sketch the angle, what I want you guys to do is make an X and Y axis. Now, anytime you go to graph an angle, our starting point is right here. That's going to be 0 degrees. And we're always going to turn counterclockwise. So we're always going to turn this way. Now, if you notice, you guys, your axes are done in right angles. So if this is 0 degrees, up here would be 90. Then another 90-degree turn right there would put us at 180. This would be 270, and back around again would be 360. So we're always going this way. So if I have to graph a 60-degree angle, 60 falls between 0 and 90. So a 60-degree angle would be about there. So the way you draw is you draw the line, and you draw an arrow, and then you write 60. And that's all there is to it. So if you had to do another one like that, number 2, I want you to sketch an angle, and I say I want you to graph 205 degrees. What you would do, right, you draw your X and Y axis. Again, if it helps, you could do 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Okay. Now, 205 is between 180 and 270. So 205 would be closer to 180, right? So you draw that arrow, and then the turn, you would show you're turning that way. That would be a 205-degree turn. So why don't you try now? What if I ask you to turn 300 degrees? Yeah, and 180. That's 40. Let's do 120. Then I'm going to change it up a little bit. 120. So try those for 2 seconds. You can pause me. So I hope you pause me and you try drawing these. Okay, here's X. Okay. So 300 would be between 270 and 360, so 300 would be about there. You draw your circle, and you draw 300 on that curve. Or you put 300 right there by the line, but it's always good to draw the curve. You're going to see why in a minute. And then 120, all right, this is 0, 90, 180. So 120 is between these two. So 120 maybe is about there. And you draw your arch. 120. Now the reason why I said it's important to draw your curves is because I could do this now. What if I wanted you to sketch negative 100 degrees? So here's X, here's Y. This is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, right? But this direction is positive. If I want to go negative 100, it means we have to go backwards. So this is still 0. If I have to go backwards from here to here, 270 is the same as negative 90. This way, 180 is the same thing as negative 180. 90 is the same thing as negative 270, And here would be negative 360. So negative 100 means I'm going backwards this way to about here, right past the negative 90 line. So this would be negative 100. So that's why you'll want to show the curve so I know which direction you're moving. All right, so let's try 2 more of those. So I want you guys to try, what number are we up to? 5. Let's try number 6, right? I would like you to try to sketch negative 270. And 7, let's try negative 15. Right? So try those real quick. You might want to pause me, give it a try, and then turn me back on. Okay, so I hope you pause me. I'm going to draw this, right? So this is 0, right? If I want to go negative, it means I'm going down. So 0, negative 90, negative 180. That means this would be negative 270 right there on the line. So from here, boom, that means we'd hit that line. And that would be negative 270. Try this guy. Go on the X and Y axis. So again, negative 15, so this is 0. This would be negative 90. So that means I'm just going down a little bit. Like that would be negative 15 degrees. All right, now I'll give you 2 different ones. What if I wanted you to graph 400 degrees? Okay. This is 0, right? It's positive 400. That means we're going to go this way. So from here to here, it's 90, 180, 270, 360. So we're going to go past 360 a little bit. Right there. So that means we went around the circle and we kept going. So you're going to see how it wraps around more than once. This is 400 degrees. All right, so try that again. Okay. Let's do 510. So give that a try. This is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Now if you add 90 onto 360, that's 450. Right? If I add 90 onto this, it'd be 540. Right? So 510 would be somewhere in here. So that means I went all the way around. So you want to show how you went all the way around and you went to there. So that's 510. All right, one more of these, number 10. What if I want you guys to do negative? Let's do 700. Negative 700. Give that a try. You might want to pause me. Pause me and give that a try. So, 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. Now keep adding on 90s. This would be negative 450, negative 540, right? 450 plus 90. You can use your calculator if you get stuck, right? What would 540 plus 90 be? Negative 630 would be there. Add on another 90. This would be negative 720. All right, so let's check out what we did. So we went around once, that's negative 360, negative 540, negative, and right about there. This would be negative 700. Okay. So now, let's talk about quadrant numbers. We'll go all the way back to the beginning here. Now, if you notice back at the beginning, I said we're always going counterclockwise, right? This is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So up here in the corner, I want to talk about our quadrant numbers. Since we're starting here and turning this way, this would be quadrant number 1. Okay, quadrant number 1. We usually use a Roman numeral. If you put the number 1, I would mark it wrong, but it's better with Roman numerals. That's 1. Then since we're continuing in this direction, this would be quadrant 2. This would be 3. And this would be 4. So these are our quadrant numbers. They always go counterclockwise, just like our picture is turning. Okay. So what I want you guys to do now is I'm going to give you a couple of angles, and I want you to tell me what quadrant they terminate in. In which quadrant do the following terminate? Terminate means to end up, right? In which quadrants do they terminate or do they end? So let's try a couple of these. Let's do 110. Let's do 280. We'll do 225. We'll do negative 200. And we'll do negative 410. So give those a try for me. So pause me. See if you can sketch those and figure out what quadrants they terminate in or end up, what quadrant numbers. Okay. All right, so I hope you pause me and you try to do these on your own. 110, what I like to do is sketch it. Right? So this is 0, 90, 180, right? So 110 is going to be in here somewhere. And that is quadrant number 2. I'm going to do the same thing for 280. I'm going to sketch it. 280, so this is 0, 90, 180, 270. Okay, 280 is a little past 270. So that means I went all the way around to here. And this is quadrant 4. 225, 0, 90, 180. All right, that's 270. So 225 means I'm going a little past 180. That's 225. This is 1, 2, 3. All right, negative 200. So I'm going to put it over here. So this is 0. Negative means we're going down. So this would be negative 90, negative 180. Okay, that's negative 180. So that means we're going to go a little bit past there. What quadrant number is that? Well, if this is 1, then this is, so that's quadrant number 2. And finally, number 5 here, negative 410. So we're going to go backwards. So this is 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. Add 90 onto that, it'll be negative 450. All right, so I went backwards. That means I went all the way around once, and 410 would be maybe right there, right? So if this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, so we're in quadrant 4. And that's how you do. So you have to sketch it. That's why placement is so important. Sketch it first and go from there. All right, and finally, one more thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about coterminal angles. Okay, coterminal angles. These are angles which terminate, right? You put parentheses, end up, at the same place. So it's angles that will end up exactly the same spot. So for example, okay, find two coterminal angles, one positive and one negative, for, okay, let's do something simple like 20 degrees. Okay, so we're going to find two coterminal angles. So if I graph 20 degrees, here's 0, here's 90. 20 degrees is right there. Okay, I want to know two other angles that are going to land me in the same spot. So from here to here is 20. Well, one coterminal angle would be, what would it be if I came around from this direction? Okay. Well, if you notice, guys, a whole way around would be a circle. And how many degrees are in a circle? 360, right? So from here to here would be how much if this is 20? Well, what's 360 minus 20 going to make? 340. So this red one here, 340, that's a coterminal angle. So 340 would be one of the answers. Now, it's easy to get another positive because, check it out, if you go a whole way around a circle again, so if I take 20 degrees and add on 360, what would I get? 380. That will also bring me to the exact same spot because we're just going in circles. So this would be negative 3, wrong color. This first one here would be negative 340, right? Because we were going backwards. So let me put that in red. So my backwards angle would be negative 340, and my other positive angle, which means I'd go all the way around the circle and then a little extra, would be positive 380. Okay, so we're going to try that again. All right, B. What if I said 100 degrees? So let's sketch 100. That's 0, that's 90. So from here to here, that's 100 degrees. What would be a negative angle that would bring me to the exact same spot, right? So if you say 360 minus 100, that's 260. That means I went backwards 260. So that would be one of the answers. Right? Backwards would be always how far away you are from 360. Now, another positive direction would be 100 plus 360. That means you went around the circle again. That would be 460. So I'm going to give you one to try on your own now. Right? What if I wanted you to find, let's do 205 degrees. Okay, oop, there it is, 205 degrees. So pause me, let's see if you can come up with a positive angle and a negative angle that lands us in the exact same spot as 205. I hope you pause me. 90, 180. So 205 is going to be about there, right? From here to here is 205. So the negative angle would be going backwards. And you just subtract from 360. So the trick here, guys, no matter what angle I give you, you're going to subtract from 360 to get one of the answers, and then add 360 to get the other. So if I do 360, right? 360 minus 205, getting 155. That means I'm going backwards 155. So that would be one of the coterminals. Right? Then to get the other one, you take your 205 and you add on 360. And that would give us 565. So what that means, you guys, if you sketched it, it means I went around the circle once, that's 360, and then one another 205. That's what that means if you graphed it. What if we're going backwards? Right? What if I give you negative 80? Still going to do the same thing. Right? Here's 0. Here's negative 90. Right? So we're going to about there. So that would be negative 80. How would I find the other direction? Right? Well, if you notice, guys, this makes almost a circle. So how far away is 360 from 80? Right? Subtract them. And that makes 280. So this direction is the positive direction. So that's going to be positive 280. And now what if I want to go back? Right? Well, since I'm going back, it was negative 80. If I want to keep going around, I want to go back another 360. Right? So that would make negative 440. All right. So I want you to try one of those now. Right? I'm going to give you negative 120. See if you can come up with a positive angle and a negative angle that lands us in the exact same spot. Two coterminal angles. This is negative 120. Right? So I got to figure out this direction. So how far away is 360 and 120? Subtract those. 240? That's 240. Okay? So that's the opposite direction. What if I wanted to keep going around and make it more negative? Well, if I want to make it more negative, I subtract 360. And that would make negative 480. So that would be the other one. All right. So that's the beginning of trig. And you're like, how is this related to trigonometry? Well, you're going to see. If you can't get the angles in the right spot and you don't know your quadrant numbers, then we're going to have to struggle. So that's why we're starting with this. So you have an assignment. It's due in a couple of days. Let's see how it goes.